medyo nakakaantok yung panahon, maulan. Umuulan po ba dyan? Dito po kasi sa Taytay. Yan, taga-Taytay ako. Dito po sa Taytay, umuulan. Malakas po yung ulan dito. Energizer din po yung sarili ko. And ayun po, maraming salamat ulit sa nag-participate. And proceed po sa heart ng ating training this afternoon. I would like to call on Sister Minerva Nawid, one of the social works interns sa Rehoboth. Nakasama ko din po to introduce our speakers for this afternoon.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Our beloved speaker for today is a youth advocate whose journey started from his experience growing up in an environment surrounded by people of poverty, which led him to begin volunteering at the age of 9. As a visionary of an engaged Filipino youth community, he started Youth Advocates for the Philippines, Incorporated in the year 2019 to break down opportunity barriers for the youth and other disadvantaged sectors. He also used development initiatives with inclusion, innovation, and empowerment at its course has then scaled to the ASEAN Youth Advocates Network in 10 Southeast Asian countries. Currently, he is taking up development studies and economics at De La Salle University here in Manila in the hope of becoming a development professional and continue to seek opportunities to learn and to help. Now he is serving various organizations such as the National Youth Council member at WWF Philippines, President of Student Catholic Action, De La Salle University Unit, Chairperson for Active Citizenship and Global Mobility at the Manila Youth Development Council, Philippine Officer at the ASEAN University Student Council, including the National Youth Commission as one of its youth coaches, and a resource person in the events worldwide. Believing that the youth's capability to make a difference, he was recognized as a global teen leader by the We Are Family Foundation, Ramon Magsaysay Award as a Next Gen Leader, I Volunteer Philippines awardee, and a National Youth Commission and Junior Chamber International awardee. Furthermore, just last Friday, he was awarded as the CSR National Youth Awardee Student category by the Benita and Catalino Yap Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Emmanuel Mirus S. Ponon.
Hello. Thank you so much, Sister Minerva. Hello sa lahat. I hope everyone is well. Kamusta? Sabi kanina ng host, antok tayo. Gets ko naman, a blessed Sunday sa inyong lahat. Sana okay lang tayo. Hala, can I ask if gising pa tayo? Let's look at our chat box. Ay, may mga nanonood pala tayong magkakasama. Alam kong nakakaantok ngayon, pero gusto kong batiin lahat kayo ngayon. Oh, nakakatuwa. Ang rami palang residential areas. Thank you so much. Sana nakikita at naririnig niyo ako. Yeah, I'm very excited to be here with you. You know, thank you for choosing to be in today's session and to attend on a Sunday, which is usually rest day. And so today I was tasked to talk about leadership, and I am happy, I am blessed because I am in front of leaders, young leaders that are going to be nation shapers in one way or another. And so I would share today a topic that I believe would resonate in you. I will title this The Best Kind of Leadership. And so what is the best kind of leadership? Will be our talk for today. So I will make I will try to make this short. I'll try to make my talk short. I'll also, ma-English kasi akong tao. I'll try to be Taglish or Konyo. Nahawa kasi ako ng Lasal eh. But so if may hindi kayo naintindihan, just please feel free to tell me, sabihan nyo na lang po ako. So yeah, let's start. Let's start. Karamihan raw sa inyo ay college students, so I'm very excited to meet all of you. Once again, ako po si Emmanuel Mirus Ponon. Bago tayo magsimula, alam kong marami sa atin may nahihirapan i-pronounce pangalan ko. Laging sinasabing Mirus. Mabuti kami ni Sister Minerva ay magkakilala na. Pero dahil sa pandemya, mas napadali. Alam niyo ba kung bakit? Ang lagi kong sinasabi is ganito. Kasi for sure, feel ko naman, no? Ayoko naman maging feeler, pero ako naman ata pinakauna yung nakilalang may ganitong pangalan. Pero ang ganito, ang virus, papalitan nyo lang po yung V ng M, 'di ba? So kaya ang pangasar actually sa akin yun nung grade 3 ako, Mirus the virus raw. Pero yan, ang tama kong pag-pronounce ng pangalan ko ay Mirus, 20 years old na po ako. At yes, talagang actually, na-late ako, sorry na po. Galing lang ako isang talk kanina. Dumiretso ako dito. At talagang excited ako na makasama lahat kayo ngayong araw. Ayan, if ever man sa mga nagso-story sa inyo or Instagram or Facebook, pwede nyo akong i-add, you may connect with me. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Ang lagi ko kasing commitment is dapat, kasi ngayon magkakasama lang tayo for what? Isang oras, 2 oras. Ano mangyayari pagkatapos? Ang commitment ko sa mga plataforma na binibigyan ako is of course for me to get to have a relationship with all of you, to talk to you. Pero baka sabihin ni sister na minsan lang mag-reply, no? Magre-reply ako, promise. Sadyang busy lang this week, pero nagre-reply ako. Promise ko yun sa inyo. So, narinig nyo na ba tong term na tong real talk? Kasi gusto kong ang leadership, ang ginagawa ko lagi sa mga talks ko, gusto ko siyang maging reflectory. So, I may provide the best content, di ba? Actually, pag nag-screenshot kayo or kapag binigyan ko kayo ng PowerPoint ngayon, wala siya gaanong words kasi karamihan talaga is sasabihin ko and marami akong mga reflectory questions. So, tawag dito real talk kasi dito papasok yung importansya ng pag-uusapan natin ngayon. First, is leadership becoming capitalized? Paano ba natin iibahin yung sentence na to? Sa tingin nyo ba, may mga nakikita kayong leader para na nagli-lead lang para may posisyon, para may malagay sa resume, para may mapagyabang? Mayroon nga ako nakikitang leader sumasali raw sa mga organisasyon dahil raw nandun lang yung crush para maganda yung tingin sa kanila ng crush nila. Totoo ba yun? So kung ganun, then that would be yes. Pero kung sa tingin nyo na ang mga leaders naman ngayon ay lahat mabubuti, and then you can answer no. O, tama po. Next question. Are you a leader or a follower? Leader ba tayo? Leader ka ba? Oo o hindi. Then ang pangatlo kong tanong is, kailan ka nagsimula na maging isang leader? Ako, naniniwala ako na lahat tayo ay may kapabilidad na maging isang leader. Pero alam ko lahat hindi binibigyan ng pagkakataon para hindi maging leader. Salamat sa pagsagot, Lani and Maris. No? So, fourth question, again, reflectory to. Pag-isipan nyo lang ng mabuti. Pang-apat, what makes one a leader? Kung iibahin ko yung tanong na to, ano ang isang trait, ano ang isang dapat hinahanap sa isang leader? Para maging mabuti ang isang leader, ano yung hahanapin mo sa kanya? Ano kaya yun? So yan, sagutin lang natin yan. Hindi naman to test, walang tamang sagot. Hindi ko rin hihingi ng mga sagot na may nagsabi, may puso. Ang ganda ng sinabi mo, MOTC girls, hindi ko ganda yan. In order to be a good leader, we must become a good follower. Yes, tama. Follower but capable to be a leader. Yes, tama yan. Makukuha niyo yung talk agad mamaya. Good listener. Yes, a leader has a dream. Yes. It's a vision. Nakakatuwa yung mga sinasabi nyo. So, how many in your community would you say is an effective leader? And this is where things get interesting. We won't talk about politics today. Don't worry. I respect all of your opinions. But I just want you to think, ilan ba ang nakikitaan mong magagaling na leader sa iyong komunidad? Whether barangay, whether sa school, whether sa barangay nyo. So, sino ba sa tingin nyo ang mga effective leaders na nandyan? And so, ako, my goal lagi is to make sure na madaling ma-digest, madaling maintindihan yung mga talk. Kasi bilang estudyante rin, may mga pagkakataon talaga na boring yung mga napapakinggan natin. Tama po ba? Lalo na ngayong pandemya, ang rami kong nakikilala, kapag tamad makinig kay teacher, magsasabing mag-off cam at mag-off mic. Sasabihin, Miss, ano po, mahina po connection ko. Pero hindi naman nagkukunwari lang mahina yung connection para maglaro ng ML or para what? Para may gawin na iba. O hihiga na lang. Marami akong kilalang ganon. Di ko alam kung ganon kayo sa mga magkakasama ngayon. Magturo nga kayo kung sino yung ganon. May mga ganon ba sa atin? Maraming ganon, di ba? Ang rami na nating ways in order to make sure na tinatry nating tumakas or makinig. Which totoo naman. Ngayon, sana makinig kayo sa akin. I will try to make this easy. And I believe, no, may rason kung bakit rin ako kinukuha laging speaker kasi tinatry kong gawing simple at maintindihan. Of course, by the end of this talk, may matututunan kayo. I don't know kung alam nyo to, but ito, ang tawag dito is a golden circle. Popularized siya ng isa of one that was a TED Talk speaker. Ang pangalan niya is si Simon Sinek. At kaya napapadali, ito yung lagi kong ginagamit sa aking mga talk. Kasi tatlo lang tinatanong niya eh. What, how, and why. Pag translate natin sa Filipino, ano, paano, at bakit. Ang leadership ngayong araw, tatlong tanong lang yan. Ano ang leadership? Marami nagli-lead pero hindi na nakakalimutan natin kung ano yung definition of leadership. Kung mag-impromptu akong isa-isa ngayon, matataranta tayo. Kunwari, kapag sinabi kong Leila, ano ang leader? What is leadership for you? If mapansin nyo, magkakaiba't-iba tayo ng pagtingin sa leadership. Kaya tayo nawawala rin bilang isang komunidad. Second question, how can I become a leader? Third question, why does becoming an effective leader matter? So yan lang. Ito lang ang pag-i-discuss natin. Mukha siyang simple. Ito try natin gawing again, sabi ko, madali lang. But ayan. So, bakit golden circle? Bakit golden circle yung ginagamit ko? Hindi lang para madali ma-digest, pero para mapatunayan ko na nakakatuwa siya. Ito ayoko kayong saktan, baka kasi may matamaan. Pero alam nyo ba sa golden circle nalalaman kung totoo ang pagmamahal sa'yo ng isang tao o hindi? Alam nyo ba kung bakit? Kasi,
Hindi po.
why? Hindi. Kasi, ang laging sinasabi sa golden circle is dapat you should start with why. Sa pagmamahal, ganun rin yun. You should start with why. So kung ikaw yung nanliligaw o kung ikaw yung nililigawan, ang tanong mo dapat ay bakit mo ako mahal? Or bakit ka ba nagmamahal? Bakit mo ako minamahal? Dito kasi yung napupunta kung ano man yung totoo nating intention to begin with. Baka kasi mahal lang tayo dahil pogi o maganda tayo. Dahil lang sikat tayo sa TikTok at marami tayong followers. Dahil matalino ka at kailangan natin ng grade sa quiz. Totoo yan. Dapat nagiging klaro ang intensyon. At syempre, sa pagiging klaro ng intensyon, kailangan natin maging prepared. Pero hindi naman ako love guru. Hindi ko pag-uusapan yan. Pero to summarize, it starts with why. Nagsisimula ang mga ginagawa natin sa ating mga bakit. Kaya nga, ang lagi sa akin sinasabi ng mga mentor ko, tanungin mo sarili mo ng bakit sa lahat ng ginagawa mo. Bakit ako nandito ngayon na nagsasalita sa harap sa inyo? Bakit kayo nandito ngayon na nakikinig sa akin? Kung intention man siya na hindi selfless or na hindi intentional para sa kabutihan, let's try to change that. And so, gusto ko lang na ma-align tayo lahat. And so, means it might sound simple kasi isang oras, 3 tanong lang. but it may be complicated. So saan tayo magsisimula? Ano nga ba ang leadership? Siguro nung sinabi kong magtatawag ako ng tao na pag-Google search na kayo, inuna ko na. Inunahan ko na kayo. If you were to look leadership on Google, it is the action of leading a group of people or an organization. Pero, sige nga, madali ba nating maintindihan ng leadership sa isang simple na Google search? Hindi, di ba? Kaya may definition ako na sana mabaon nyo sa pagtapos ng session na to. It is the mobilization of people to contribute to a shared goal. Ano ang action? Mobilizing. Pagsama-sama ng tao para may gawin, to act, para sa isang kabutihang bagay. Pagsama-sama ng tao sa paggawa sa mabuting bagay. So ano ang leader? Kung yun ang leadership. Ang leader, yung nagmo-mobilize ng tao. It mobilizes people to enact positive change collectively to make a difference. Pinagtitipon-tipon natin ang ating samahan, ang ating kapwa estudyante, kapwa mamamayan ng Pilipinas na may gawing kabutihan para magbigay ng impact, magbigay ng tulong sa ating mga kasamahan. And so, if napansin nyo sa definition ng leadership at leader na pinakita ko ngayon, ito yung ma-observe nyo. Una, walang I. It was always we. It was a group, never an individual. Bakit ko ito sinasabi? Because apparently, marami nagli-lead at pumipiling mag-lead para sa sarili nila. Sa tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, ako marami yung nakikilala, nag-a-attend ng mga talk ko, hindi para makinig, para lang magkaroon ng certificate. Walang I sa leadership. Gusto mo mag-lead, gusto mo maging student council president para marami kang followers sa Facebook. That's not leadership. Again, no, walang I. Leadership is not about you. It is about the people you serve. Kaya nga, it's an act of self-giving. So it was never an I, it was always we. Number two, isa siyang social process. What do we mean by social process? Hindi siya nagagawa ng isang araw lang. It does not happen over time. You have to make sure that leadership is done on a consistent basis depending on the time frame. Number two, leadership is an act of service. Nakakatuwa kasi may isang nagsabi sa inyo kanina na you have to be a follower first, which is true. Dito papasok ang beauty of servant leadership. Kaya yun yung dalawa kong ginawang definition na ngayon nakakatuwa kasi ginagamit na ng ibang mga kolehiyo sa iba't ibang bansa yung definition na ginawa ko kanina. And so, ang i-represent ko, the best kind of leadership is servant leadership. Yes, narinig na natin siya maraming beses, pero gaano ba talaga tayo kagaling maging servant leader? Ako, aaminin ko kahit ako, hindi ko na ma-master yan. Ngayon, papadaliin natin at I will make sure that you are able to grasp our topic for today. So, again, leadership is an expression of serving, meaning an act for others. Ulit-ulitin ko yan ngayong araw. Galit tayo sa gobyerno, galit tayo sa ating mayor, sa SK, sa leaders natin sa ating institusyon dahil hindi naman sila nagde-lead para sa kabutihan. Pero sa simpleng mga komunidad natin, dapat sa atin magsimula ang pagiging selfless leaders, ang pagiging leaders, ang pagiging servant para sa ibang tao. We have to act for others. Selfless is a word that I will mention multiple times today. It basically states not, again, never for you, always for others. Sa iba, self-explanatory to. Usually, pag nagsasalita kasi ako, full English, kanina full English ako. Ngayon, I want to make sure na naintindihan nyo ako lahat. And so, alam ko, gets nyo na, alam nyo naman na kung ano yung leader. Sa lahat naman ng komunidad, may leader, di ba? Pero, gaano ka nga ba kagaling mag-leader? Rhetorical question number 1. In a scale of 1 to 10, how are you as a follower? How are you as a leader? If you rate yourself 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, or mababa, whether as a leader or follower, tatanong ko yung why. Are you a great listener? Are you a great speaker? Do you communicate well? Do you empathize? These are attitudes that, again, does not learn overnight, because leadership is this process. So how do we become effective leaders? Alam na natin yung leadership. Alam na natin yung leader in a very simple way. So how do we become effective leaders? Again, ang rami nagsasabi kasi, sa tingin nyo ba, ano ang mas importante? Attitude or skills? I want to ask this to everyone. Feel free to answer. Gusto ko malaman mga sagot nyo. Attitude or skills? Ano si Maris? Attitude or skills? Attitude, yes. Correct. Because sinabi ko naman na. But ito yung quote na magsa-summarize on that. You don't hire skills. You hire attitude. Skills can be taught. Attitude is trained. That is where our values lie and are considered. And so I will give you the 4 attributes of what a servant leader is. Number 1 is someone that is selflessly conscious. Number 2 is someone that has the hopeful vision. Number 3 is to have stewardship. Number 4 is to have fulfillment of the community. Wala tong slide, so sana mag-grasp natin. Number 1, selflessly conscious. Ano ang ibig sabihin ng pagiging conscious? Basically, awareness siya. It's awareness. It's being aware of the needs sa mga pangangailangan, sa problem, sa problema, at concerns, mga boses ng ating komunidad. Are we aware of the needs, problems, concerns of the community or society? Yes or no? Next, hindi lang nagtatapos yon sa ating komunidad. Ang minsan, ang mali nating karamihan, based sa more than 300 leadership conferences ko, ang kulang sa atin is hindi yung pagiging aware sa ating komunidad. Ang nagiging kulang is yung awareness natin sa sarili natin. Because leadership, servant leadership is who we are in action. Paano tayo magiging leader na authentic, na totoo, kung hindi natin kilala sarili natin? And so I hope you take note of this. Know who you are in order to lead authentically. Again, know who you are in order to lead authentically. Number 3, and this is what one of my most favorite sayings talaga. Kanina, ang mga rhetorical, ang mga una kong tanong sa inyo is kung kinakapitalize ba ang leadership, kung onti na lang bang nakikita nyong totoong leader sa inyong komunidad. And so, masakit siya, di ba? Masakit siyang realidad. Masakit siya, lalo na sa akin, kasi dati, naghihirap ako dati at never binigyan ng pamilya ko ng tulong. But we're here to talk about these realities, to be what? To be sharply awakened and reasonably disturbed. Notes nyo to. You have to be sharply awakened and reasonably disturbed. Again, sharply awakened and reasonably disturbed. Magising kayo sa katotohanan, maapektuhan kayo para sa mas meaningful na magagawa natin. Of course, dapat kilala rin natin ang sarili natin, our abilities, our gifts, our strengths, and our potentials. That is becoming selflessly conscious, to be aware of society, but most importantly, ourselves. Number 2 is to have a hopeful vision. Hopeful vision. Maganda yung may nagsabi kanina na dapat ang leader may future thinker. Matama yun. So how do we have a hopeful vision? Number 1 is to seek greater possibilities. Ngayong pandemya, maraming nawawalan ng pag-asa. Totoo yun. And so, we have to reimagine hope. We have to be hopeful. We have to seek potential in challenges of leadership. We have to provide energy that excites the imagination and that steers the heart. I want you to dream big. No dream is ever too small. Nung bata ko, gusto ko lang magtayo ng isang organisasyon. Ngayon, nasa 10 bansa na siya. Dati pangarap ko lang maging featured sa CNN. Nagawa na yon. Dati gusto ko maging leader tulad ni Barack Obama. Ngayon, makikilala ko siya. Naka-meeting ko na siya at I was awarded as a global team leader. And I came from nothing. Kung kaya ko yun, mas kakayanin nyo. That's a vision. You have to seek potential in challenges of leadership. You have to provide energy that excites the imagination and steers the heart. Ito yung quote na sinasabi ko, if the dream doesn't frighten you, then it's not big enough. Kung hindi ka natatakot sa pangarap mo, hindi pagaano malaki ang pangarap mo. Again, kapag hindi ka pa natatakot sa pangarap mo, then ibig sabihin nun hindi pa malaki ang pangarap mo. Because there will never be anything wrong about dreaming big. Hindi lang to about leadership leadership topic man to, but all of us, the things that I'm saying can be used in our everyday lives. In order to have a vision, we challenge ourselves. We challenge ourselves to change our present ways of thinking. Sina-challenge dapat natin yung alam natin ngayon. Kasi alam natin na may mas maganda pa. Papayagan lang ba natin na ang Pilipinas natin ay ganito? Na nahihirapan mawala sa pandemya? Pababayaan ang mga taong na nangangailangan? Maraming may nangangailangan ngayon. Papabayaan lang ba natin sila? We have to challenge and change our present ways of thinking for the better. Okay? Number 3 is fulfillment of the community. A strong community has a shared vision, mission, and goals. And kayo, alam ko marami sa inyo magkakasama ngayon. Alam ko iba sa inyo, nakikita ko mga nasa camera, tinatamad na. But I want you to know this. Ang isang community has a shared vision, mission, and goal. Lahat kayo, whether barangay yan, house, society, barangay, whatever, may mission kayo, may pinapatunguhan kayo, may vision kayo, and mayroon kayong goals. Pero sa mga komunidad natin, may tiwala ba tayo sa ating mga kapitbahay? May respeto ba tayo sa kanila? Kung yes or no ang sagot ninyo, then how are we going to build strong relationships if we do not have trust or respect? Relationships are dependent on that. Relationships are founded on trust and respect. Sa mga may jowa o sa mga may crush dyan o sa mga nanliligaw dyan, the foundation of relationships is trust and respect. Respeto at tiwala. Walang pinagkaiba yan sa komunidad. Kung sa dalawa pa lang kayo hindi natin nagagawa, paano pa kaya isang barangay? Pag nagawa natin itong mga relationships na meron tayo, there will be a sense of belongingness, which we love, di ba? The sense of community, the sense of belongingness and being valued in the community. Sa mga leaders dito, ito yung masasabi ko, we have to stand with one another as the leader stands with them. You stand together equally, not based on positions. Kung ikaw ang willing ka talaga maging leader, walang pride. You be there equal as them for the better and for society. Lastly is stewardship. What is stewardship? We want to care for others. Basically, caring for others. We want to build our organizational capacity to grow and to be more effective. That is how we become steward. We want to serve larger society, especially the 3 L's. We serve larger society, especially the least, the last, and the lost. And gusto ko sabihin sa inyong lahat ngayon that we have the power to what? We have the power to empower others. We have the power to influence. Yung salitang influencer, lagi na natin siyang naririnig. Akala natin para sa mga sikat lang yan. No. You yourselves, regardless of how many friends you have in Facebook or how many friends or how many people are in your house, each and every one of us can influence. Because start That is where change starts. And yun yung apat. Ginawa kong simple. Alam nyo yung course namin na to, yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, it took us 2 months, 3 months. Pero ngayon, nagagawa natin simple lang. Gusto kong mas maraming Q&A. Pero ito, we have to be aware. We want to be a steward that cares for others and to have a vision for the benefit and betterment of the community. Hindi ako gano'n nagpi-Filipino, pero try ko. Kailangan natin maging aware. Kailangan natin maging isang steward na nagki-care, nagbibigay ng pangangailangan sa ibang tao, at may mission na mas malaki para sa kabutihan nating lahat. Ayaw nating may naiiwan. We should make sure that no one is left behind. So bakit? Nakadalawang tanong na tayo. Sabi ko sa inyo, mabilis lang. Sana. Wait lang, may tanong si Alvin. Sige, you can ask. Mag-intervene tayo. Paano po kung binigay mo? Wala. Alam kong masakit yan, Alvin. Ngayon ko lang kasi nakita. Ang tanong niya is, paano kung binigay mo yung buong tiwala mo sa isang tao na mahal mo, pero nalaman mo niloko ka lang pala niya. Ano po yung dapat kong gawin? Una is magpahinga, mag-reflect, no? Second is dapat maisip mo na wala namang mali sa ginawa mo. Hindi ka dapat yung mga inaasar. Alam ko ngayon, syempre kung sa tropa-tropa inaasar ka, iniwan ka lang ganun ganyan. Pero hindi. Kailan ba naging pilit ang pagmamahal? Hindi pilit ang pagmamahal. And the fact na pinili mo magmahal, whether it's intentional or not, na I wish is intentional and genuine, is nasa sa'yo. Pero the fact na nagmahal ka, which is an act of self-giving, meaning to say, binigay mo sarili mo. Because we love out of nothing. Hindi agad genuine yung ginagawa natin kapag may gusto tayong kapalaran para doon. If you are loving to have a label, that's not love. But if you love just because you want to give love, then it will naturally come. And the fact that you chose to love is something that you should be proud of because you did exert your whole effort and you did the right thing. And as long as you have given love in this world that is composed of relationships, then you are doing the right thing. So, yeah, wala kang maling ginawa. Siya actually may mali. Do we forgive cheaters? Yes. Pero never forget. Gian, sasagutin natin yan mamaya. Baka kasi taranto si Alvin. But let's go with our why. Para puro tanong na tayo mamaya. Nakikita ko yung mga grupo-grupo nagtatawanan na Why? We have to know that service before self is paramount. We serve for others again, not for ourselves. Okay? We serve for others before ourselves. It is paramount. What do I mean by paramount? Hindi lang yan yung nakikita natin sa simula kapag may movie, no? Hindi yung may mountain. Hindi yon. Paramount meaning to say kailangan talaga ganun siya to begin with. So, service before self is paramount. Number 2, leaders emerge in times of crisis. And whether you are a leader or a follower, I want to say that you are already emerging. Because the fact that you are here in this session, the fact that you are still balancing everything that is going on with you makes you someone that is emerging and resilient that we should all be proud of. Number 3, the youth are the recipients of the baton. Kung ikaw ay isa sa mga nalulungkot sa sitwasyon ng ating bansa ngayon, I want to tell you na ang makakapagbago lamang ng ating bansa o ng ating mga komunidad is tayo. Tama nga naman, hindi naman talaga natin kasalanan yung mga kamalian na nangyari. Pero ngayon na binibigyan tayo ng pagkakataon, anong gagawin natin? Mabibigay sa atin ang boses, mabibigay sa atin ang kakayahan para magbigay ng pagbabago. Through individuals, through communities, through service. Because it will always be a baton. Because What we want is transformational leadership. And when our generation, when the Gen Zs are now given the chance to lead, that some are already now actually, then let's break the stigma. Let's change the cycle. Why don't we do that? Why don't we change the cycle? Why don't we right the wrongs na nakikita natin matagal na pala nangyayari? Then be the change. Break the stigma. Break the stigma of things that are wrong. Focus on what is right. We are the ones that can change that cycle. Reminder sa inyo to register to vote. Please do register to vote. That's one way of when we talk about nation building, because my talk earlier, no, bago sa inyo, sa National Junior Institute of Philippine Accountants was all about nation building. You want to help? If you want to start to be a servant, maybe as an active citizen in your country, register to vote. All right, let's make a difference. Because the foundation of what a leader should be is to become a servant first. I end with these 4 questions. Number 1, dream deeper. Number 2, never be discouraged. Number 3, just do it, Nike, and deliver, and to dedicate your distinction. Dream deeper. Never be discouraged of what people say or for people who try to bring you down. Just do it. Deliver your purpose into a selfless and intentional way for the better, and dedicate what you want your life to be, because I chose and dedicated my life for others, and I hope that in one way or another you do too. You can make that difference today. You can start through volunteering, but at the end of the day, marami man akong masasabi, nasa inyo lang yun. And so I end with this quote. I may say so many things about leadership. Ang rami ko man masasabi, di ba? Pero at the end of the day, kayo pa rin ang may totoo at may paningin sa totoong nangyayari, sa paningin mong nangyayari sa inyong komunidad. And so I ask you this, sa ating mga komunidad na baka gumaganda o pumapangit, anong gagawin mo pagkarinig nito? Ang makakasagot lang nun is kayo. And sana mabigyan nyo ng sagot yun. Maraming salamat at siguro we should go with our Q&A. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much po, Sir Emmanuel, for that very insightful, very fruitful. Fruitful because we know that those words will bear fruits talaga. Kasi this youth, this younger generations that are here will be, the future talaga of our society, of this country. And thank you po for imparting so much things po sa amin, even me. Dami din po ako natutunan. Before tayo mag-proceed sa open forum, share ko lang din po yung takeaways ko from what Sir Emmanuel has taught us this afternoon. So ako po, one of my favorite parts dun po sa lecture niyo po ngayon, and earlier, is that when you want to become a successful leader, you should become a follower also. As for me as a church leader then, it is important then that nakikita nung members or nung mga taong, alam mo yun, nakatingin sa'yo. I-imitate ka nila. It is really important kasi minsan yung mga tao, kaya hindi sila din nag-progress or alam mo yun, nag-drive kasi they don't know which pattern or which pattern to follow. They don't know kung ano ba yung tama. They don't know which person to idolize, ganyan. Though being a leader naman talaga is hindi naman dapat i-idolize, but yeah, we should be great imitator ng mga tama, ng laws, ganyan. For us to become a successful leader din talaga. yun na yun. Wala din talagang iwanan when it comes to leadership. Hindi lang yun. Porket ikaw yung leader, ikaw lang palagi. But always look dun sa wider lens kung saan ka nakatayo. Ayun, kung nasaan ka na ngayon. And, ayun, sana po marami din talaga tayong matutunan. And ayan, baka po meron gustong mag-share ng questions and ng takeaways nila for this afternoon po na natutunan po natin kay Sir Emmanuel Mirus po. Meron po ba? You can just raise your hand po. Ayan, si Jericho Almazan po. May tanong po. Go po. Sige po. Proceed po. Ayan, question po. Paano po pag binigay mo na yung best mo sa iyong grupo pero hindi nila nakikita yung halaga?
Okay, so nangyayari yan lagi, di ba? Marami akong nakikilalang ganyan, nadadown, nagiging malungkot, yung parang, alam mo yun, may mga tao talaga kasing hindi makikita kung ano yung ginagawa mo. Pero, ang gagawin kong response to that is, ginagawa mo ba yung ginagawa mo para makita ng iba? Kaya nga ang isang prinsipyo na laging sinabi sa akin, well, siguro kasi Catholic school ako pinalaki buong buhay ko, is that we get to know what our attitude is when people are not with you in a room. What do I mean by that? When we choose to be good despite people not looking at us. Whether it's whether yun yung honesty store, parang sari-sari store na ikaw lang kukuha at ikaw magbabayad. Whether those are things that do happen. Gets ko na, of course, pinag-effortan mo yung bagay na ginawa mo, pero may mga tao talagang hindi makikita yung halaga mo. Minsan nga, ibabash ka pa eh. Pero, again, what should give you fulfillment should not be the compliments that you get. What should make you fulfilled are the things that you do. And knowing that you are doing it for the people that you want to serve. Because yung mga sinasabi ng tao na maganda, na nakikita halaga mo, darating yan. Pero dapat magsimula siya sa paggawa ng mabuti para sa totoo mong intention, which is to help. Hindi naman ako nagsimula na maging advocate or maging leader para sa mga global awards na mayroon ako ngayon. No, hindi ko inisip yun. Never ko inisip yun. Dumadating lang talaga siya bigla. Because you should know that you serve, again, for others. And so if you are looking for sa halaga na yan, sa paggawa mo hindi. If I were to add, may halaga ka na the moment na ginagawa mo yung best mo. As long as you do your best, diba? As the saying goes, God will do the rest. You are already fulfilled. And I'm here to tell you that you should be very proud of yourself for doing your best. Kanina, I woke up at 6 a.m. kasi sumali ako sa isang competition kanina. And hindi ako expert doon. Like, ang course ko is walang math. Tapos kanina, it was a competition na about math. And alam mo yun, syempre sana nag-back out na ako. But because I respect the organizers and because I want to do my best regardless of what the outcome is, that's something that I want to practice and continue on. Moving forward. Tutulungan na kita, Leila. Sasagutin ko na isa-isa yung mga tanong nila. Sige. So, I hope nasagot ko yon sa mga nasa residential Tondo Boys. Magtanong lang kayo. Babalikan ko yung mga nagtanong kanina sa taas. Number 2, kay Rona May Pascual, is there any advice you can give to those who want to be a leader, however they are struggling to achieve the trust and others and to themselves too? Thank you. Doon papasok yung servant leadership kanina, no? Yung sa awareness. Ako, to share, no? Di ko lang kung nasabi ko, pero never ako naging leader only until 16 years old ako. Like, never, mabigla man kayo or whatever. But hindi ako naging part ng SSG ng grade school or high school. College lang senior high lang nagsimula lahat. So, yeah, you have to really trust yourself first. And I'm sure that there will be people who trust you. Kapag may times na nila-doubt mo sarili mo, the advice na lagi kong that I would always say is that you should look for comments on people who cherish and care for you. And I'm sure that there will. And if ever that can be me, I will try to be that for you. You get to know yourself and then you trust on what you can do for others. It's going to hard, 'di ba? It follows the same analogy eh. Paano ka magmamahal kung di mo mahal sarili mo? It same goes to leadership. Kapag hindi ka kapag hindi ka kumpleto sa pag-serve sa iba, mahihirapan at mahirapan ka. And so I hope that you get to find your trust when it comes to yourself, which I will be willing to be one of those individuals for you. Then eventually the trust of people will eventually follow. So thank you, Rona. Okay, may direct question. Paano malalabas ang pagiging leader kung ang daming leader sa paligid? For me, hindi naman siya, maganda siya na yung leader, na maraming leader sa paligid. Pero ilang leader ang talagang mabuti? There are more than 100,000 barangays sa Pilipinas. Ibig sabihin, there are more than 100,000 barangay captains. Not only that, may SK pa tayo. I just want you to ask this question. Ilang leaders sa Pilipinas ang masasabi mong mabuti? Sabihin mong 50,000. Kung sabihin mong 50,000 na, one half. Kung 50,000, bakit tayo nasa sitwasyon na ngayon? Bakit tayo hindi po tulad ng ibang bansa na hindi pa nakaka-recover sa pandemic? So, I want you to question yourself. Una, are they actually leaders sa mga paligid? Kasi the fact na gusto mo maging leader, knowing na ang raming leaders, tells you and tells all of us na may mga inefficient leaders out there. Again, we lead to serve. And so, if ever man sabihin natin magaling lahat, or leader talaga na may totoong intention lahat, why should we compete with them to begin with? It's great if all of us are able to get to know what it takes to become a leader. Kasi doon papasok yung servant leadership. To be a servant first. So kung alam mong maraming leader, then be a servant first. Be a great follower. Then that would create the ripple effects of what we want our society to have. So thank you for that, MOTC girls. Kailan ba masasabi na isa ka ng leader? Nasa sa'yo yan. It's a road of self-discovery. Once you know na you are selfless, I'll say that kapag you have achieved becoming selfless. So I would advise you to always have checkups to yourself if on your path to becoming selfless. Alvin, thank you, Alvin. Nararamdaman po ba yung pagiging leader? Can we go back to the definition of what a leader is? Diba, we want to enact positive change. So if we get to feel that through leaders, then yeah. So to answer your question, basing our definitions from leadership and what a leader is, for sure, mararamdaman ang leadership. Kasi makikita natin ang development, ang camaraderie ng isang komunidad, and ang pagiging united natin. Thank you. Go lang. Thank you, MOTC ulit. Marami kasi kayo, gets ko naman. Ano po yung mga characteristics of an effective leader in today's generation po? I won't state any names, but again, ang sabi ko ang sinasabi is someone na totoo, genuine. Someone that is authentic and wants to serve for others. Kaya rin yung ginawa kong basis. I'd say that. Then after that, doon na papasok yung mga ibang traits. Trustworthy, open-minded, accountable, transparent, effective, efficient, communicative. That is a listener. Walang perfect eh. Walang perfect definition of what a leadership is. Kaya if ang lagi kong tinatanong, I was featured in GMA 2 weeks ago, at ang sinabi ko is that ang hinahanap ko sa isang leader ay someone na totoo at authentic sa gusto niyang gawin. And I hope yun rin yung hanapin nyo para sa susunod na election sa next year kasi napakalaki ng elections. Next, paano po pag nahihirapan kang maging isang leader sa grupo mo dahil natatakot kang mahusgahan ng isang tao? Natanong rin sa akin yan nung nasa isang talk kanina. Bilang isang leader, harapin mo talaga yung mga problema. I mean, ngayon pa nga lang bilang tao, ang rami na natin mga problema. Mahuhusgahan talaga tayo. Imposibleng hindi. Walang isang leader sa buong mundo ang hindi nahusgahan. Laging mayroong manghuhusga sa inyo. So, what do we do kapag nahihirapan tayo? Huwag natin silang isipin. Kaya nga ang sinabi ko kanina, nasasabihin ko ulit sa inyo, residential tondo, is that only listen for advice to those people who care for you. Kasi yung mga taong may kilala sa iyo ang makakapagbigay ng mga tamang influensya, advice, mentorship na makakatulong sa iyo. You don't need to think of others, 'di ba? Ang hirap kung kunwari ikaw si Vico Soto tapos pinapakinggan mo lahat ng sinasabi sa Twitter. No. You only look for influential and effective voices that will cater to your growth. Kasi sometimes social media and haters, which I also have experience of, can be very draining, can be very toxic. So surround yourself with good people that will tell you things that you should know in order to grow. So surround yourself with good people. Yun yung sasabihin ko. How can a new generation millennial leader create an impact to the system full of traditional leaders? That is a great question. I love that. Yun yung sabi ko, change the cycle, break the stigma. It starts with small change, but I hope that we get to do it in consistent change. Mahirap siya, but kakayanin, step by step. Especially to us, non-profits, di naman tayo funded, di naman ako binabayaran to do this and all. Yeah, step by step, try to do the influence as you can. For example, sa pag-register to vote, on influencing people to vote, it starts on, in your community. You start small. What will be your first step? Like if I were president, itong tanong ni Rona. Kasi, well, now that I have a platform such as this, the first step is to become an example. Kasi again, di ba, sa attitudes and sa values natin siya at the end of the day. So, for me, it's to become to be an example, to show what it takes to be human first. Or di ba, the epitome of servant leadership. To be a servant first, to be human first, then to become a leader wherever you may be. In my experience, what was your biggest leadership challenge and how did I overcome it? Hirap niya na. Hindi ko alam. Ano nga ba ang biggest leadership challenge ko? Well, siguro yung sinabi kanina. Ano ba? Okay. Kaya nasa nakwento ko kanina na I never led in grade school or high school because ang tingin nila sa akin is di ko kaya mag-lead because di ako matalino, basically. Ganun. Mabababa grades ko. Only until senior high school. And so I saw it as something that changed my life, honestly. Kasi at least na-learn ko yung student leadership for becoming a servant for what? 6 years. Kasi 16 lang talaga ako nag-start mag-lead. Pero in service, I started volunteering at the age of 9. So, I'm thankful for that. Mahirap, of course, at times. Natatandaan ko nung senior high na ako. Nung nagsabi na ako nung 16 ako na ready ako mag-lead, di ako pinapayagan. Walang tiwala nga sa akin kasi wala naman na raw akong experience. And so, regardless of the volunteer work that I was able to do, I had to overcome that challenge. And yun yung naging hugot ko. Yun yung naging hugot ko sa paggawa ng organization ko na Youth Advocates for the Philippines na naniniwala sa kapabilidad ng kahit sino man basta tamang intention mo, alam man ang alam mo ano man ang pagkakaibahan natin, naniniwala ako na bawat isang kabataan ay may magagawa at may matutulong sa ating bayan. And ngayon, yung message na yon ay nasa 15 countries na. Hindi lang nasa ASEAN, and now we just want to, lagi namin sinasabi, you can lead as long as you trust yourself. You can lead regardless of your differences, regardless of your experience, because all of us are change makers in our own way, whether as a follower or a leader. So that's been my leadership challenge, and I'm thankful and I'm happy to share with you today na that leadership challenge has led to the platform where I am right now, to have talks every other day, to continue fulfilling the mission of my organization, and to using this voice of mine na paus na to try to make a difference in my own right. So yeah, thank you, Mar. Sa mga hindi na sa host, sabihan nyo na lang po ako pag tapos pag wala ng time. For those na hindi ko masagot, you're free to message me personally. You can also add me on Facebook, Mirus, Ponon, Twitter, Instagram. Again, I promise to reply to each and every one of you. Ilang taon po ba ang start? Wala. There will never be an age on becoming a leader, MOTC girls. It's on your intention. Intention again. Intention, and we hope that that intention is in the right direction. You're never too young to lead. Wala naman siyang parang hanggang leader ka lang hanggang 35 ka, 9 ka pa, bawal ka pa mag-lead. We can lead whenever we want to. That's why the continuous growth and experience, whether as a volunteer, whether as an advocate, whether as a leader, comes within you. So yeah, thank you. I love na ang rami yung tanong. Can we consider, how can we consider a leader is competent, deserving in his or her leadership? Ako, ang sinabi ko nga kanina, intention, authenticity, then experience, then yung mga intangible things. What kind of leader do you want, di ba? Accountable, responsible, typical. Minsan, ginagawa natin komplikado. Sino ba ang gusto mo maging presidente sa klase mo? Yung masipag ba? Ganon. You find for people that hit the right mark. And kaya mahalaga rin ang voters' education. Siyempre, bago bumoto ng presidente, alam dapat muna natin kung anong gagawin ng presidente. We want to get to know the position that we are voting for in the first place, then selecting the leaders that are eligible and are running for the said position. Bakit may pong mga leader na hindi na makalakad? Hindi ko alam. I won't consider them leaders, Maki. I consider transformational leadership as something essential. Diba sinabi ko sa last slide, we have to pass the baton. It's time for the youth to lead. Kapag di ka na makalakad ng maayos pero malak pa rin tumakbo, it shows a lot and it tells a lot on the trust that is entrusted within us. Gets? Ayan, ang raming goal lang. Ano ba ang mga, paano po yung mga leader na gumagawa ng masama? Hindi nga sila leader. Hindi sila leader. No, 'di ba? A leader should enact positive change. Kaya dapat ang rami yung sinasabi ba? Kapag ang leader ganito, kapag ang leader ganyan. Hindi sila leader kung kapag gano'n. Lead, 'di ba? Hindi naman natin sila pinipili to be leaders in the first place. So, we have to make sure na accountable tayo sa mga leaders kasi sila rin naman pumipili na maging leader, 'di ba? And so, we look at them, we judge, we take accountability for them. And we have to heighten up our standard on what we want our leader to be. If gusto nyong a leader that does bad things is not a leader. Thank you, Alvin. Sa tingin mo po ba magaling kang bilang isang leader ngayon? If I were to scale of 1 to 10, I'd say 7. I still have a long way to go. Yeah, 7. Magaling ba ako? Sa mga ibang bagay? Sa mga ibang bagay, ang rami ko pang kailangan i-improve. So, yeah, it's, again, lifelong learning. So, try ko as much as possible to maximize the opportunities that I am able to get. That's why I've led multiple organizations. So, yun, sa residential Amlak Boys. It's not na hindi ako kontento. It's that knowing na ang rami ko pang posibilidad na magbigay ng serbisyo, I will do that. And one thing pala na hindi ko pa nasabi, you don't need a position to lead. Am I running for SK or for a government position just to lead? No, you can lead in your own way. And you don't need a position in order to lead. Okay? As a leader, how do you address the lack of true leadership? Yeah, talks like this. Our organization advocates for that. So everything that we do is addressed on how we want to change the lack of true leadership. Gian, that's our main goal as an organization. I believe in what hindi nga namin ginagamit leadership. Kahit ako, I call myself a youth advocate. A youth advocate, as I would define it, is someone that changes what is to what should be. As long may nakikita kang may dapat baguhin, binabago dapat. Gets? Salamat, Gian. Okay, go. Tanong lang. Do you plan? Ayan, nasabi nyo na. Nasabi ni Marl, no. No. If ever I will, I need to be prepared. Hindi, I don't need the national position in order to serve. To share, no. I'm taking development studies because I want to be a community development worker. I want to continue my mission here in my nonprofit to serve. And I feel this is the best way in order for me to lead. So, yeah, no need to campaign, but you can of course support. Yeah, I think I'm best in my own way. I plan to be an educator. I plan to take my master's. I want to continue to learn, to create programs, policies, to to try and help as the best as I can. Nakalugar, hindi nakalugar. All right. Are we good? Napause ako. 4:45 lang ang cut. Back to you. Leila. Sa mga may tanong, message me. Thank you. Maraming salamat.
Appreciate all your useful insights po talaga. And thank you po to those who asked their questions and give their takeaways din po. Ayan. You can message Sir daw po through her social media account. Let's do so kasi ayan, dami natin natutunan ngayon. And knowing him further siguro sa social media accounts niya, we can learn so much pa. Talk na lang natin si Sir and message him if we have questions. Nakakaasa kasi yung sakit. Ayan, so thank you so much po ulit to those who asked their questions. Thank you so much po ulit, Sir Emmanuel, for giving those lectures, for giving those experiences na talaga namang magagamit din po talaga namin as a youth, as a future leader of the society of this country. Yung mga nag-iing natin sa pag-lead sa iba-ibang natin lugar, even higher position, ganyan. Yeah, guys, pero yeah, let's have that right attitude, right motives, right desire, right, ano pang right, di ba? Para, alam mo yun, makapag-lead talaga tayo ng and to give our appreciation for Sir Emmanuel, we will now proceed sa ating awarding of the certificate to our guest speaker. So, entrance speaker, ayan. And allow me to read the content of the certificate. The Herbot Children's Home Incorporation Certificate of Appreciation is hereby presented to Mr. Emmanuel Mirus S. Ponon. Correct me sir if I'm wrong sa pag-pronounce. And thank you po for sharing your valuable time and expertise as our resource speaker during this virtual leadership training given this 26th of September 2021 held by a Zoom conference. Signed by Mr. Sherwin D. Lozano and Ms. Amelia Tokero, our Executive Director. We appreciate you so much, sir. and accept this certificate of appreciation as our gratitude for your insights, for the learnings that we've gotten, we've earned talaga this afternoon. Dadalhin namin.
Thank you so much. Maraming salamat sa lahat.
And again, thank you po sa lahat ng nag-participate and talagang nakinig. And nawa, baunin po talaga natin to, yung natutunan ko natin this afternoon. And to give us the closing remarks ni Eko and Mr. Sherwin Lozano.
Okay. So kanina opening, no, our executive director, Miss Amelia Tuquero, is not around, no. But Sir Mirus, Pono, I'd like to say thank you so much po, no, for the opportunity, no, na naging kabahagi po namin kayo ngayon na pula ito. Talaga, na pong speaking engagement, kayo po ay nakapaglaan sa panahon para po ay makapag ating pong mga bata, hindi lamang po dito sa Rehobo, kundi sa mga ibang institution. And nakita po namin sa main institution, meron din po tayo mga iba na nakasalig dito from other institutions and other organizations. So with that, thank you so much, Sir Emmanuel. I hope hindi na po ito yung first at last makasama po namin kayo, kundi ay magkaroon pa rin ng mga opportunities. Makasama po namin kayo sa mga iba pang gawain para po sa mga kabataan. At ang ganda nung nabanggit ni Sir kanina na true leader ay yung meron po siyang act of self-giving. Kaya we need to check our intention. Di po ba? Ano ba yung intention natin? Why we are joining doon sa mga organization, hindi po ba? At kung nakita ko natin that we have the self-giving, na kaya natin ibigay yung sarili natin, and we know our purpose. So, yun ang ganda na magiging isang leader ka talaga. Kaya nga sa lahat ng mga kabataan na nagpag-participate, lalong-lalo na, no, lagi ko sinasabi sa mga bata namin dito sa institusyon, na you are no longer beneficiaries. No? Hindi lamang tayo tagatanggap ng tulong, but we are a change agent na kaya po nating gumawa, no, ng mga bagay na kakaiba, no, na makakatulong. Yung mga simpleng bagay, no, na pwedeng nating gawin ay you are being part of our nation building, di po ba? And sa lahat din ng mga bata na nandito, no, we have to change our perspective. Baguhin ho natin yung perspektibo natin na we are not joining the organization dahil meron tayong makukuha sa kanila. No, the popularity, yung mga benefits, no. I-change natin yung perspective natin dahil we want to contribute something, di ba? Na gusto nating meron tayong maibigay, meron tayong may contribute. And that is act of self-giving. Okay? So with that, thank you so much once again, no? Lalong-lalo sa ating resource person, sa napaka-powerful, inspiring at na motivate tayo, no? Doon sa mga naging achievements niya and contribution sa ating society. I hope tayo rin, no? Sa mga kabataan, we can make something different. Okay? And thank you so much sa ating pong CEU social work interns po natin, no, na talagang sila po yung nag-organize ng event na ito. So hindi po magiging posible, no, yung ating pong webinar ngayon kung wala po yung ating pong social work student. Okay, once again, good afternoon and thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much po, Sir Sherwin Lozano. And yeah, before we proceed to our photo opportunity, dito po tayo ni Kuya Ralph Valentino for our closing prayer.
Hello. Okay guys, thank you sa pagdala sa aming sa event po namin. So, the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, as we come to the end of our time together, we thank you for what has been accomplished here today. May the matters discussed serve as a catalyst to us forward and cause us to advance and see growth in all areas of our lives. May we live here recognizing you are the God of all wisdom and you're willing to lead us forward. This we pray in the name of the Lord Jesus. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Thank you po.
Yeah, let's now proceed to our photo opportunity. Can we now open our camera? Yan, open tayo ng camera for the photo. Thank you guys. Thank you for attending.
So in count of 3 po.
Yan.
Ayan, in count of 3 po. 1, 2, 3. Freeze. One more pa po, since 3 pong slide to. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Isa pa po. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Ayan po. Thank you po.
Yan, thank you so much po ulit. And can we give a heart reaction po ulit? And a congratulations to yourself. Sarili mo. Yourself.
Evaluation pa sa mga kasama natin. Thank you.
Yun po, evaluation po, reminder po. Ito po, sinend po ni Sister